Right, that's our first eavesdropper. So, what did you think about their response to that question? Well, our topic are at large.
Well, the first girl that went, I agreed with her because I think naturally, friends fall off. That's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
the cycle of life. But the second girl, I don't know if I would call those large groups of common interest friends. Like I feel like
Right.
they're associates. You know what I mean? Like if I
Mm-hmm.
met you at a conference, maybe a friendship would build, but like all of those people were all together off of one common interest because probably there's a specific event going on. So I don't
Right.
necessarily know if I agree with the second girl
Second
that,
one.
yeah. What do you think?
I definitely believe the first one is all about prioritizing because everyone's priorities and goals different, year to year or every 3 years or whatever the case may be, or maybe like a sudden situation that happened and they had a moment where they just shift their mind. But I definitely believe our friendships get smaller because our priorities and our focus gets narrowed into our priorities, and some people, some females just don't understand because they're so emotionally attached to it and they don't want to come to the realization that, what we want first is most important. And then, we can come to you and do what we have to do. But some people don't want to come to that realization. As far as the second girl, I think she's getting confused with friends and communities.
Right.
Having a community is, I think, is everything. No matter what you are, if you are in business, if you are a worker, like you still need to have a community because you need to have relationships to function in life, like period. Like we all are a life collaborative, no matter if you're across the country, no matter if you're in another state, like we all need each other, no matter what the culture is, the race, the age, whatever it is. I'm older than you, but you may learn from me. I may learn from you. Like we all bench off of each other, and I think community is important. But as far as smaller for me, I know we talked about it in our private conversation. That's what made me say I'm going to give her this topic. Small works best for more.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely remember you remember you saying that. But it's funny though, because after our conversation just yesterday, I was on the phone and same line sister who I went to Jamaica for her birthday, she says like she was offended because my mom asked me if I was on the phone with her. And she's like, well, who else is she going to be on the phone with? Meaning me. Because she's like, you don't talk to anybody else. And I was like, you know what? I really do want that big group of friends. But
Hmm.
I realized that I do keep to myself more. Like I only keep those close um that I don't want to say benefit me, but that like add value too.
Yeah.
Like whether it's emotional support or
Hmm.
we can talk about like because school can have me down, so you can help me out with my school stuff, but like we also have other stuff in common. I think it's just as I get older, I value my peace more, and I don't
Hmm.
really have to deal with all the riffraff. And sometimes, as much as I would prefer to have a bigger group of friends, a lot of that riffraff and drama can come. So it's funny. Funny that you brought it up because I'm like, man, I just said I prefer a bigger group of friends, and look at me not doing that, not acting by how I talk. So
Yes, maybe you came to a realization after I brought the question up because I don't want to say in a bad way, but you were so set in your mind that a big group was comforting to you.
yeah,
And now that I brought the question out of you, I have a clean slate with you. Like I don't know like your background, your insecurities, and I just brought the question up to you. It's just having a conversation, and maybe you just had a realization, an aha moment, and it made you just reflect on it.
yeah, and that literally between our conversation, I still was like, nah, like I promise you, I got off the call. I'm like, no, I still have a big group of friends. Like she has valid points, but I feel how I feel. And then it wasn't until that yesterday, like that moment that happened, I'm like, man, she, he, oh man. It's like, I guess I got something different to say when we talk.
Yes, you have a different point of view. And that was only like, what, a month ago?
Yeah, barely. Barely.
Barely a month ago. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, our priorities, our goals, our realizations just come about whenever, and people don't really know how to adjust or even accept that this is life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, us females, we have emotions. It's a beautiful thing sometimes because we're allowed to be vulnerable outside our sleeves, but it can be annoying sometimes, I will admit, as a female.
Can it can to yourself. It can to people, the other women that you're friends with, for sure. I definitely agree with that. Again, just yesterday, another moment, I'm just crying. Mom's like,
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like sobbing. I don't know what's wrong. I'm just like, I'm not even sad. I'm just crying. And she's like, well, sometimes we have those moments. And I'm like, but why? Like, it's just, and sometimes we do need a friend to be there. Like, I remember my mom, she had to go. So I'm like, texted my bestie. I'm like, I know you're at work and
Mhm.
it's super early out there because she's in Vegas and I'm in New York. So I'm like, but I just want you to know I love you so much. Like, I'm just so emotional for no reason. So in moments like that, sometimes it can be really good, but in the other moments, because I
Mhm.
be on the opposite side of that, I do have to really be grateful for the people that stick with me, especially the women that stick with me, because it's not easy dealing with these emotions that are so up and down, and then we're all transitioning in life, no matter what age we are. So
Mhm.
it's a lot that goes into being